Hey, what's up, you guys? And we are back. It's Josiah Culebra, and I know it's been quite some time since I've actually made a YouTube video. Two things kind of got in the way of that. One, I had this severe acne breakout that looked like I had hives all on the side of my face. There was like a lot of scarring, and it just looked ridiculous, and I couldn't stand to see myself in front of the camera. So I just waited until everything kind of cleared out, and I just felt like my subconscious was going to eat me alive as I made all these videos. So first we did that. First took care of that. Look at that, looks a lot better, right? And secondly, I wanted to try a new YouTube setup. I wanted to have everything all looking great and spectacular and everything. I feel like it wouldn't be believable, as me being a cinematographer and a photographer, if I didn't have a decent YouTube setup. So, boom, we're good. All right, so the point of today's video was more or less just to discuss the fact that I don't think a lot of people know what a lot of photographers do on the back end in comparison to like what they post on social media, right? So if you see what I post on social media, it's mostly just portraits and street photos. So a lot of people will wonder, well, what do you do in order to kind of supplement your income when one piece of the puzzle isn't coming together? Say, for example, if you're doing portraits and you're not booking a lot of portraits, what else can you be doing to be able to make income? And it's hard. It's not like a one size fits all. You have to figure out what you do on your own. But I want to share ways that I do it. That way you guys might be able to get an idea, and that way you guys can see if something might interest you in order to kind of make some extra money on the side as well. Trying to help you secure that bag, I promise. All right, so here are my 4 ways that I make money as a photographer. So let's get with the first one. The first one is going to be doing weddings. Shooting weddings, whether it's photo or video, weddings are a really, really great way to make a lot of money. I would say the only downside to that, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you might have heard about weddings, is that they're pretty stressful. And it's not really like shooting the wedding per se is stressful. It's kind of sticking to the time frame. It's dealing with people if you're not really a people person, and it's also being able to act fast on your feet, because situations change, and there is like a formula that you can kind of go by for most weddings. With that being said, those kind of jobs, they do pay a lot of money, especially if you are the solo photographer, and it's a full-on wedding. I want to say the first wedding that I charged was about $250. I really just showed up to do some photos for the ceremony, and I went about my day. Now I'm at a point where weddings are going to range between 2.5K to about 5K, depending on what is needed from me. Also, either doing it on your own or also second shooting weddings with somebody else. You don't get paid a lot, but it is a good amount of money depending on the job. So, keep an eye out for, things of that nature. And a lot of times if you even need help trying to find stuff like that, Facebook groups are a really good way to kind of pick up on that. And then, like I said, also second shooting, so that you can have, you can work your way up to shooting weddings on your own, and then you can charge those higher rates. So number 2 is going to be product and food photography. I'm going to stick this all into one category because I do mine under one company. What I do on a consistent basis is under one company, but it can be sporadic for other companies, but I know I have one that I go to on a regular basis. So I just want to stick that all together in one and kind of clarify that. But yeah, basically what I do is I work through Uber Eats and Grubhub, and I'll go to different restaurants and photograph the foods depending on the basis of what those companies need for their marketing materials. That was something I kind of just stumbled across randomly, and it was, it worked out really well. It worked out very well for me, and I still believe it's a good job. I really only do about a week's worth of work, and I can see a payout for about $700. I literally go and show up for about 30 minutes to an hour at 5 or 6 restaurants a week, and that's it. So So if I decided I want to do more, then I can. But if not, it's fine. I just personally decided to only do a week's worth of work. So because I have other things I want to do with my day, and yeah, it's not the most glamorous thing for me, but it is a second piece of income that I'm able to bring in every month. The same thing can kind of work for you, just get in contact with certain companies, especially even try to work out a deal with even like some small companies where you can photograph and do a lot of their products for them on a regular basis. When I first started doing product photos, I worked for a boutique in Virginia, and I literally showed up about 3-4 times a week, and I took photos of the clothes that they had coming into stock in the store. Some days it would be about 120 new products in a day, and I took about four photos of each shirt or pants or whatever the accessory is, especially like shoes. I would just get like a whole catalog for them, send it off to them, quick and easy. Well, I don't want to say like it was quick because it was pretty time consuming, but you get the point. You can do this for a lot of companies. It's not something that is a very, very special. Dang, maybe I should have muted my phone.
Out to qualify for a discharge of your student loans. To check your eligibility, press 1.
Do y'all still get these calls all up, down, left, and right? So yeah, but you can kind of reach out to small businesses and be able to get those resources and get that ongoing clientele. It's really about you just going in and saying the things that you need to say and just convincing them like, hey, I'm willing to work, I'm willing to get this done, and I can do that. You might have to do a little bit of research before you kind of get in if you're not very familiar with doing product or food photos, but the good thing is stuff like that is usually available at home. I'm pretty sure you have clothes at home. I'm pretty sure you have like little devices around the house that you can actually do a product photo for or with, and YouTube is going to be your best friend. So teach yourself and make that money. So the third way that I make money as a photographer is I edit other people's photos. To be honest, this is probably one of the easiest ways to make extra money is through editing other people's photos, because there's a lot of online platforms already like Fiverr that literally allow you just to make a profile and you show some of your work that you've done before and you just let it run in. People will inbox you and they'll ask you to edit the most simplest of things. They want the dog that's pissing in the background to be removed, or somebody has a wedding and they don't want to edit the photos, and they're gonna send you out a batch edit and you sit down and do all of them. And the best part is a lot of times if it's a bulk load, you can do a batch edit. It's not something you have to sit down and do some ridiculous retouching for. And if you do that, you can offer that as a completely separate service with a higher rate. A batch edit can be done for a really cheap amount. Retouching, like especially beauty retouching, yeah, that can go for a lot of money per image, not as a batch, per image. So keep that in mind when you're deciding on which one you want to kind of like push for if you decide to actually get into that. But editing other people's work, even if it's videos or photos, people will pay you for that because most of the time they don't have the time to do it, or they're not good at it. They may be good at just taking the photo and they want somebody to edit it, and that's where you come in. So keep your mind open for that one. A quick way I got into that was going on Facebook and finding groups in every city that I was in. And I'm pretty sure you will find that one photography group with somebody asking a crap ton of questions, and can someone do this for $200, and can someone do this for such amount of money? They're there. A lot of them are there. So just keep your mind open, your eyes open, and I'm pretty sure you will definitely find a lot of ways to make money off of editing other people's work. So let's move on to number 4, which is my personal favorite: selling prints. Selling prints is probably, I don't want to say like an easier way of doing things, because you do have to market yourself properly and you do have to be creating work that people want to buy. But I want to say it's easy because it's your work, you made it, and it feels really, really great, and it feels very, very satisfying for this. The other ones may not feel as satisfying internally, but selling prints is definitely a very satisfying experience. Honestly, just printing out your work in general is a very satisfying experience. And then it feels even better when someone says, hey, I want to pay for your stuff. Let me get that stuff to hang on my wall. I'm telling you, it feels amazing. So I started using stuff like Society6 to be able to promote my work or be able to sell it. That way people have a different variety of what they can get with my photo. But for the time being, I'm doing pretty well through Squarespace and through selling things myself. I have my own printer, so I print at home, and I usually get like a lot of frames from Michaels, and it's around the corner. So it's not really too much of a feat for me to do it on my own, and I'm pretty aware of my pricing when it comes to my prints. I feel like I price very appropriately. The first time I sold a print was in 2015. I had a pop-up shop at West Elm, and I sold 2 prints that day, and I was sold from that day on. And the crazy thing is the print was only like about an 8x10, yeah, about an 8x10, and I think that's why I would push that one a little bit more, just because it's a more gratifying experience, and it doesn't necessarily feel like work. Oh, we're going to call this a wrap. Hopefully you guys are able to pick something up. Those are my 4 ways on how I am able to make money as a photographer. Hope you guys can apply that and put a little extra bread in your pocket and secure that bag. All right, you guys, I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.